Page 15 or page 48. Lechu niranin al Adonai Nari al Zuri Shenu Nikadim afanav betoda Mizmiron Nari alog Yagadol Arbaim Shana Akud Vidor Avaram Toyevavim Vehem Lo Yadun Erachai Asher Nishbati B'Abim Yavon El Menuchati Hoy 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 Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadat Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Baruch Shemo Vasru Miyo Hom Yeshuato Sabru Bagoyim Ageh Vodo Bechol Hamim Nivleota Ki Gadol Adonai Homol Al Meon Norahu Hal Kol Elohim Elohei Amim Elilim Va'adonai Shamayim Asa Hod Behadar Lefanav Tiferet V'migdasho Havul Adonai Mishbecho Hamim Havul Adonai Gavod Bahos Havul Adonai Kevod Shemo Seu Mincha Uvahol Chazrotav Shtachavul Adonai V'hadrat Kodesh Chilu Mipanav Kol Haaretz Imru V'goyim Adonai Malach Haftikon Tevel Bahal Dimor Yadinamim B'meisharim Yismechu Hashamayim B'tagel Haaretz Yiram Hayam Hom Lo Yalo Sadai V'chol Asher Bo Haziranenu Kol Atzeyar Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishbot Haaretz Yishbot Evel Betzedek Vehamim Vehem Munato Yamdai Hay Please eyes on page 20 or page 54. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod Baho, Hay, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yishtachavul Adonai, V'harad Kodesh, Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai, al Hamayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Bakoach, Kol Adonai, Vehadar, Kol Adonai, Shaber Arazim, Shaber Adonai, Edar Zehalvanon, Vayar Kidem, Gmo Egel, Levanon, Vesirion, Kemo Verehavim, Kol Adonai, Chotzev Lavotesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai, Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Cholel Ayalot, Vayechesof, Yeharot, Uvechalo, Kulo Homer Kavod, Adonai, Lama Hamu Yashava Yeshev Adonai, Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz, Le'amo Yiten Adonai, Yivarech Eramo Vashal, Hay, 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 Lechadodi is page 21 or 56. Lechadodi, Likrat Gala, Bene Shabbat Nekabela, Shamur Zachor Benibur Echad Ishmi, Hanu El Hamyuchad Adonai, Echad Ushmo Echad L'Shem, U'Tiferet Aveleti Lalecha, Dodi Likrat Gala, Bene Shabbat Nekabela, Likrat Shabbat Lechoven El Chaki, Mekor HaBeracha Meirash Vikedem Nesuch Asov Maseh B'machshava Techila Lecha, Dodi Hay Gala Hai Bene Shabbat Kabbalat Migdash Melech Ir Melucha Migdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumitzehi Mitoch hafecha Lecha dodi ligrat kala Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Rav lach shevet Be'emek habacha Rav lach shevet Be'emek habacha Vehu yachamol Halayichem Lecha dodi ligrat gala Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Hitnari me'afar kumi Livshi bigdei Tifartechami Al yad ben Ishai ben halachmi Korva el nafshi geala Lecha doni ligrat gala Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Dorere giva ore kumi ore shir daberi givoda donayala Yechnig la lecha dori hayayali Krat kala hayayope Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Lo teboshi velo tikalmi Matishtochachi umatemi Bach yechesu anye ahami v'nibnedai Al tilalecha dori hayayali Krat kala hayayo Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Hayulim shisa shosayik v'rachaku kol mevalayik yasis alayik Elohayik imsos chatan al gala Lecha dori hayayoli Krat kala hayayo Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Aminus mo Tivaroti v'yet Adonai da'aritzi Al yarish ben parti v'nismecha v'nagila lecha dori Krat kala hayayo Penei Shabbat Kabbalat Bovi v'shalom teret v'hala Gam b'simcha u'tzohala Tochem unei ham segula Bovi hey ya 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 oh hey ya ya hey ya hey ya hey ya hey ya ya oh hey ya hey ya 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 hey ya ya you may be seated, page 23 or 59. Needs more, surely, Shabbat. Oh, you knew him to say, the shame in Ranani, Leagid Kiashar Adonai, Tsuri Vilov Latabo, Adonai Malach Yud Lavesh. Mikolot Mayim, Mayim Rabim, Adirim, Adirim, Mishbereya. Mikolot Mayim, Mayim Rabim, Adirim, Adirim, Mishbereya. Hadir b'marom, ay ay ay. Hadir b'marom, ay ay ay. Hadir b'marom, Adonai. Hadir b'marom, ay ay ay. Hadir b'marom, ay ay ay. Hadir b'marom, Adonai. Techanem numod levet chana v'kodesh Adonai leorech yamim. This week we observe the Yartzeiton of Anne Turok, sister of Leonard Cooper, Irwin J. Weber, father of Robert Weber and father-in-law of Laurie Weber, Claire Hochberg, mother of Mark Hochberg, Joan Koblenz, cousin of Eleanor Dreyfus, Gabrielle Basser, cousin of Adam Abeshouse, Robin Ilkowitz, mother of Adam Ilkowitz, David Levine, brother of Mark Levine, Shelley Ehrlich, mother of Amy Ehrlich, Henry Jaffe, father of Marshall Jaffe, Ruth Wise, mother of Peter Wise, and also Harry Isaac Berger and Ethel Mindis Lax, who are memorialized on our board. May their memories and the memories of all those whom we recall be blessings. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 24 or 62. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagalau vizman kariv vimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmeid kudsha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. O say shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We'll continue with Mariv in a moment, but first I'd like to invite up our cantorial intern Laurie Weber to share a few words of Torah. Welcome back.
Shabbat Shalom. So I just want to say that sometimes it's very hard to find a connection to the Torah portion, to the ancient times, what was going on. But sometimes the connections are right in front of us, they're very clear. Part of my Hebrew course required that I write a Devar Torah in Hebrew every single week. And I was assigned one Devar Torah to give to my class, and it was assigned back in January. So I had Parshat Tazria this week. So my favorite new phrase is Ma hasikui, or what are the chances, that the portion I was assigned to deliver to my class would be the Torah portion that discusses quarantining the leper outside the camp at the same time that I was diagnosed with COVID. So while I felt miserable from my symptoms, I was really grateful for two things. One, that I was vaccinated, I was boosted, and I was also grateful that my professor didn't assign me a different parsha, like I wasn't turned into a pillar of salt. I wasn't swallowed up by the earth, like, so it could have been a lot worse, right? So I told the class, I told my professor, I said, be careful what you assign your students, because they should make this decision very carefully, because you don't know what's going to happen to you. I was quarantining in my guest bedroom. I don't know other people who had COVID, where they quarantined, but it was very strange to me, because my guest room, I could hear everything that was going on. It was right off the kitchen, but I couldn't see anybody. So while they made Shabbat last week, and I watched you on Zoom, I could hear my husband bless the children, but I couldn't physically touch them. I could hear them singing Shalom Aleichem, but I wasn't singing with anyone. I was in my own space. I was experiencing Shabbat with just my ears. And I had no other senses. I couldn't see them. I couldn't touch them. And I couldn't even taste. I lost my sense of taste as well as a lot of other people did. So I felt like I was trying to relate somehow to the leper, to the quarantine person, and I was thinking of them outside the camp. They couldn't even hear their family. They couldn't know what was going on. So I wondered, what's worse, when you hear and know what's going on, or when you're, when you're totally isolated and you don't know? So I'm somehow connected to this parsha for the reasons of quarantine. And tonight is my father-in-law's yard site. It's Sammy's grandfather, Erwin Weber. And he would have been 89 years old now. And for most of the time that I knew him, he was in Los Angeles. So I didn't really know him very, very well, except on vacations. But for the last 10 months of his life, he moved in with us, and I got to know him incredibly well. And I realized what an incredibly dedicated grandfather he was, and father-in-law. Sammy's younger brother decided that sleeping was beneath him, so he would cry for like 25 hours a day if he could. And I told Erwin, even at 3 o'clock in the morning, I said, Erwin, I'm so tired. I've changed him. I've fed him. You've all been through this. I've changed him. I've fed him. I don't know what to do with this child. Just take him. And he did. And I'd find them in the morning with Erwin cradling Zachary, both of them snoring, and Zachary's head being just inches from the couch on the floor. Like God was watching them so that he didn't drop them on the floor. But he loved taking them to the park. He loved just being grandpa. And about a month ago, I was cleaning out a closet, and I discovered this bag that I hadn't cleaned out. And inside the closet was a pair of thick glasses and a Magen David made of popsicle sticks. And I said, I don't think my kids made this. And just at that moment, I'm holding these glasses in my hand, and I look up at the screen on our TV where we loaded all our pictures, and there is Erwin wearing those glasses that I'm holding in my hand at that moment. And everybody went like, whoa, because I said, what are the chances? I said that his picture came up on the screen. So I realized who the owner was, and I looked further in the bag, and I realized next to the popsicle sticks was a schedule from Calvary Hospital, which had the recreation schedule, and it said they were making popsicle picture frames on a certain day, which was like days before he died, and he chose to make a Magen David. And so I knew then, I said, wow, Judaism was really, really important to him. He didn't want to make a picture frame, but he made a star on the last days of his life. And when I think about my quarantine, and not only being able to not only hear my loved ones in the next room, and holding on to Erwin's glasses, and seeing that picture of him come up on the screen, and I thought of, we're at a 6 million mark now of people who lost their lives to COVID, so that number really speaks to us. So there were 6 million people who have lost their lives to COVID, and I wondered if death is, in a sense, like being in the next room. Like, is it possible that our loved ones are singing along with us? Are they imagining that they're touching us? Are they imagining that they're keeping up with everything that we do? And even if we can't or hear or see them, but only feel them in our hearts. And that's how I felt when I was holding on to those glasses. I felt like, wow, he could just be in the next room, and I'm holding his glasses. So with that, my wish for this Shabbat is that may the memories of all of those that we're keeping in our hearts this week, this year, be kept alive in our hearts, and may it comfort us to think that maybe, just maybe, They're listening in the very next room. Shabbat shalom. We'll continue with Mari. Page 28, or do we have the pages for the other? Oh, they're right here, sorry. Page 28 or 64. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam va'ed. Hu ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'mariv ha'ravim, ahavat olam beit Yisrael. Ve'ahavtcha tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Page 30 or 66. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meotecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher Anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha, ve'dibarta bam, ve'shivtecha bebeitecha, uvelektecha v'derech, uveshokpecha uvkumecha, ukshatam leot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotachot bein einecha, uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Adonai Elohechem Emet, page 32 or 70. U'malchuto b'ratzon giblu aleichem, Moshe v'nei Yisrael, lechanu shira, v'simcha rabba v'amru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, V'hayam lifnei Moshe, Ze Eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'ne'emar ki v'adanu et Yaakov u'galom yad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai Kal Yisrael 33-73 Hashkivenu Adonai Ushmar seitenu uvaenu l'chayim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'ad Yerushalayim. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on 34. Oh, I'm sorry. Bishamru on page 3474. Bishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam ay 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 Hashamayim et haaretz uvayom hashevi'i Shabbat vayinafash Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah ve'alamal divrah kirutei ve'amlik malchutei v'chayehonu v'yomechon Uv'chayedecho bet Yisrael Bagala, Bagala Uv'izman karim Ve'imeru Yesh me'raba mevarach Le'alam ulal me'ol maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh V'yithalal Shem Medekudesha Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran v'halma V'yimeru Page 35-76 Shalom Bimromav Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Heidi Shalem, page 92 or 48. Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei rabba, ve'alma divrei kirutei ve'amlik malchutei b'chayechon v'yamachon v'chayedech beit Yisrael, b'agalat v'zman kari v'imeru. Yesh shemei rabba mevarach, le'alam ulal me'olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudeshah. Rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata damiran v'yalma v'imeru. Tika batzodhon v'hon dechol Yisrael kodem v'hon divishmaya v'imeru. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imeru. V'hoseh shalom b'mrama v'yaseh shalom alenu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imeru. Alenu, page 51 or 98. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'tet gedula liyotzeh b'reshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kehol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishkachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malkei hamlachim, kadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imha'al, u'shkinatu zo, v'gavhei meromim, u'Eloheinu et od, emet malkeinu efezulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadata yom v'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim ba shamayim b'ma'al v'al ha'aretz mitzvachat edoreina. Kagatuv b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar ve'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad. Kadish Yatom, page 52 or 101. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba. Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agalat u'v'zman kari v'imeru. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imeru. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen. Good Shabbos. It's so nice to see all of you. Please stay for dinner, even if you didn't RSVP. We have enough food, I think. So please stay for dinner. It is my pleasure to invite up our president, Dr. David Haff, to make the announcements. Before and I'm inviting him up now, and he can start coming up, but I just want to say one thing that didn't make it on the list, which is that tomorrow is Hallel. It's also a day in which we're going to have our Baal Tefillah Jack Klebanow here, and also our Meshorerim, a group of folks who have been getting together with Jack. Some of you are in the room who get together to sing and learn new tunes. So please come and add your voices to that. It should be a really great morning tomorrow. There's also a women's group, and so it should be a big Freilich thing. So please come and help add to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As I say, it's always wonderful to see you all, and I really mean it. It's lovely. And just one more comment on Jack. The music he has selected is really beautiful. It really is stunning music. It's worth just to hear that. So I really encourage everyone to come, and he is such a unique talent. So first off, I want to thank our our Kiddush sponsors for tomorrow morning, and that's Larry and Diane Cohn, Joel and Shelley Goldberg, Peck, and Rob Rossman. And they all are turning 65 this month, so they wanted to celebrate a little bit of it with us. We also have, as noted, the women's group, the Shabbat. That'll be right after services at 1 p.m. We're having adult education on the laws of Pesach. I don't know whether you've noticed, but Pesach is coming. Can I be heard?
So one of the little things that we don't. Gosh.
Take it easy.
We so far don't have that much interest in that class. So if we have interest in that class, we'll do it. If not, so please email me. If not, we'll continue with, and this goes for people joining us online, we'll continue with our David, which I know there is interest in. We're going to come back to the life of David in a few weeks, but if no one wants to come learn Hilchot Pesach, we'll keep going with David. So if you have a preference about that, just email me before Tuesday. So.
Okay, and that David is not me. It's a different David. And then more preparing for Pesach, we have a Ma'od Hitin. It's traditional to donate what they call wheat coins. All right. And that's to provide food for the poor. This will go to a kosher soup kitchen called Masbia. And it'll be in the Monday's weekly announcements. No one's announced it to me before today, so this is news. And then even more preparing for Pesach. We have books available outside on the table in the hallway that are Seder related, created by Yeshiva Hadar, and some copies of material guides from the Rabbinical Assembly. So if you haven't got enough Pesach yet, it's coming. Okay? And we have the Lunch and Learn series. That's the Chug on Wednesdays. That'll be at noon. You're invited to eat and listen and talk. And also regarding Pesach, there's going to be, after Pesach, there's going to be a collection of excess food that people have collected. I know we have lots of matzahs to be donated. And the person who I think is coordinating that is Rebecca Plotsky, if I'm not mistaken. So contact her, and she's acting as our point person here, which is really quite nice. And then we also have, in conjunction with the Bronx Jewish Community Council, it's called Project Hope, where we get volunteers to deliver packages on Sunday, April 3rd, which is actually this Sunday. Wow. Or if you want to sponsor a package, it's $25. Look again at the weekly announcements. Also, Michael DeVore can be contacted. He can instruct you on anything you want to do to help that. This is actually worthwhile. It's delivered to elderly seniors in the Bronx, and there actually are a few. Any announcements for any of the members of the congregation? Anything people should know? John?
If anybody's here that was part of the show on Sunday, the producers, it was just wonderful, and I'm looking forward to the next show.
It was a wonderful show. I agree. It offended everyone, and everyone loved it. Okay. Oh,
The Midnight Rallies are April the 9th.
April the 9th, that's the week
That's following.
from tomorrow. Okay, so there's lots of things happening. As you see, we're going to sit down and eat together, and I think we're off to a really good start this spring. Shabbat Shalom.